Anxiety excuse. Pedro Pascal has been very open about his mental health. In April 2023, at an HBO panel for The Last of Us, he was seen placing his hand on his chest mid-interview. Co-star Bella Ramsey leaned over and asked if he was okay. Pascal responded, "It's because my anxiety is right here," gesturing to his sternum.
Oh,
You know what?
The clip went viral, with fans gushing over how real and relatable he was. "Protect this man at all costs," one tweet read. Fast forward to 2025, and that same anxiety has become something else entirely. During the press tour for Fantastic Four: First Steps, Pascal appeared increasingly physical with co-star Vanessa Kirby. We're talking constant hand-holding, waist-grabbing, face-stroking, and one now infamous moment where he placed his hand over her pregnant stomach on the red carpet. Kirby, who's engaged to lacrosse star Paul Rabil, tried to play it off as camaraderie, telling the press that she and Pedro were just close.
loving, warm, supportive, kind, soulful, funny, brilliant scene partner and man.
But the internet wasn't buying it. Social anxiety doesn't mean getting to hug every woman in sight, one user wrote. Another viral post asked, why does his anxiety only kick in around hot female co-stars? Pascal's touching his therapy routine became meme fodder fast. One split-screen image labeled "me with anxiety" showed someone rocking alone in a corner. Next to it, like Pedro Pascal with anxiety, showed him holding hands with Vanessa Kirby, smiling like he just won prom king. To make it even weirder, Kirby later said she has anxiety herself, and Pascal was holding her hand to support her, completely reversing the original narrative. So which is it? Pedro's anxiety may be real, but when it keeps leading to touchy red carpet moments with glamorous women, people start asking questions. And now, they're finally getting loud. Touchy on set, Pedro Pascal's friendly behavior with female co-stars has gone from endearing to flat out uncomfortable. Let's start with Sarah Paulson. At the 2025 London premiere of Evita, Pascal wrapped his arm tightly around her shoulders, then slowly rubbed her arm up and down while whispering into her ear. Paulson didn't flinch, but she didn't look thrilled either.
Pedro!
The video, which hit 12 million views on TikTok within 48 hours, drew thousands of comments. "She looks frozen," one wrote. Another added, "That's not affection, that's boundary blind." It didn't end there. In press interviews for the indie comedy The Materialists, Pascal made headlines again after co-star Dakota Johnson said on The Tonight Show that Pedro frequently stole her clothes on set, including a sweater she later found him wearing at a Stevie Nicks concert. Haha, right? Maybe.
He's wearing that's my sweater.
I heard
He
this.
does that a lot. He takes my clothes.
Until she casually mentioned that he also joked she could make a fortune on OnlyFans selling toe pics. The line got laughs on Fallon's couch. Online, it raised eyebrows. These incidents might seem small alone, but the patterns getting hard to ignore. Remember the viral 2024 red carpet clip with Willem Dafoe? Pascal is seen laughing with Willem, then turns to Dafoe's wife, touches her shoulder, and gets a little too cozy. Dafoe's smile evaporates in real time. His body language changes instantly. Arms crossed, jaw clenched. The caption practically wrote itself. Willem Dafoe realizing Pedro's not just a method actor.
Pedro Pascal is trending again after an old clip shows him warmly touching Willem Dafoe's wife at a Hollywood event.
Even back in 2021, at an HBO event, Pascal was spotted giving actress India Moore an unsolicited shoulder rub during a group photo. She smiled, but shifted away seconds later. At some point, the trend becomes hard to defend. This isn't just one awkward moment, it's a timeline. And yet, somehow, it keeps being shrugged off as Pedro just being Pedro. Maybe Hollywood's gotten too used to confusing charm with unchecked behavior. Woke Shield, Pedro Pascal isn't just an actor, he's a walking diversity checklist with a SAG card. Latino? Check. Pro-trans? Loudly. Pro-immigration? Born to Chilean refugees. Vocal about Black Lives Matter, police reform, and the right side of history? Absolutely.
And I want very much to live on the right side of history, and I'm an immigrant, my parents...
And that's exactly why he's become untouchable in Hollywood.
Let's get this done.
Because in an industry obsessed with virtue signaling, Pascal is the poster child for safe, studio-approved activism. Let's get specific. In June 2021, Pascal tweeted, "A world without trans people has never existed, and it never will." He wasn't just defending his sister, Lux, who's transgender. He was taking a firm public stand. In April 2025, he called J.K. Rowling a heinous loser over her comments on gender identity, then followed that up at Cannes by slamming U.S. immigration policy with "fear is the way they win."
The way that they win for one. And so keep telling the stories and keep expressing yourself and keep fighting.
Each statement racked up millions of likes, and curiously, no backlash, no boycotts, no headlines calling him divisive, just applause. Now compare that to someone like Letitia Wright, who got torn apart online for reposting a video questioning vaccine efficacy, or Chris Pratt, whose silence on political issues gets dissected weekly. Pedro, meanwhile, can say anything, and the media eats it up like it's gospel. Even his more questionable moments are reframed as charming. Like when fans accused him of being too cozy with female co-stars, news outlets quickly pivoted to glowing profiles. Vanity Fair called him a beacon of vulnerability. GQ crowned him Hollywood's emotional safe space. And when in doubt, blame it on anxiety. Pascal has mastered the performance of being politically perfect. Not too loud, not too quiet, and always on brand. He's what Hollywood wishes every actor could be. Diverse, digestible, and deeply marketable. And as long as he sticks to the script, no amount of red carpet creepiness is going to break that spell. Canceled versus protected. Let's talk about the clearest double standard in Hollywood. Pedro Pascal versus Gina Carano. Both starred in Disney's The Mandalorian. Both made controversial political statements online. But only one of them got fired. In February 2021, Carano was axed from Lucasfilm after an Instagram post compared cancel culture to Nazi Germany. The internet exploded. Disney said her views were abhorrent. Within 48 hours, she was dropped from her talent agency and blacklisted across Hollywood. Game over.
Final straw was the Holocaust tweet.
But rewind a few months earlier. In 2020, Pedro Pascal tweeted a photo comparing Trump supporters to actual Nazis. He later posted another image showing kids in Trump-era immigration facilities next to Holocaust victims, captioned, "This is America." Was he reprimanded? Nope. Disney said nothing. No backlash. No studio statements. He even got promoted, headlining the Mandalorian and Grogu movie in 2026, and landing the role of Reed Richards in Fantastic Four.
Mr. Fantastic.
We will protect you.
Gina Carano eventually filed a lawsuit, citing Pascal's tweets as part of her case. Her legal team argued that Disney applied two completely different standards based on political alignment. They weren't wrong. Carano was conservative, Pascal isn't. That's the difference. Not tone, not timing, just politics. Even after Carano apologized and clarified, she remained blacklisted. Pascal, on the other hand, kept stacking roles and Vogue covers. When called out, media outlets defended him by saying his intentions are good, or he was speaking out against injustice. But here's the truth. If you say something controversial in Hollywood and you're on the approved side, it's called activism. If you're not, it's called hate speech. That's why Pedro Pascal is still winning awards while Gina Carano is crowdfunding her next movie. Hollywood doesn't care about fairness. It cares about narrative control. And right now, Pedro fits the narrative perfectly. From daddy to creep. Remember when Pedro Pascal was the internet's daddy? That started around 2023 when The Last of Us aired, and thirsty TikTokers couldn't get enough of his soft-spoken masculinity. Protective, vulnerable, wholesome.
Internet daddy.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure it out.
No, people
I
are
feel like it
obsessed by you
changes.
being.
There's zaddy, there's daddy.
Daddy. Ooh.
He checked every box of the woke-approved male archetype, the kind of guy who makes tea for his co-star and cries about immigration policy. He was seen as the antidote to toxic masculinity. But in 2025, that narrative is unraveling fast. The daddy image has taken a weird turn. Now it's creepy uncle energy. Why? Because when you watch enough footage, the pattern becomes clear. Pedro doesn't just stand next to women. He clings. He rubs arms, strokes faces, holds hands like he's doing breathwork. When Fantastic Four promo clips dropped this summer, viewers flooded the comments. Why is Pedro always touching pregnant women? Another went viral for saying, "I used to love him, now he just gives me the ick." But here's the woke twist. He's not being canceled. Not even close. Because Pascal's whole persona still fits the current Hollywood formula. Emotionally available, politically correct, openly anxious. And those traits, especially in a male actor, are considered untouchable. If anyone else acted this clingy on camera, media outlets would be running exposés. But with Pedro, they publish think pieces about safe intimacy and how his anxiety makes him more relatable. This is what happens when wokeness creates a double standard. It turns genuine red flags into progressive talking points. Pascal isn't being judged by his actions. He's being praised for his identity. And when that's the metric, internet daddy doesn't have to follow the same rules as everyone else. He just has to say the right things and keep hugging. Casting fatigue. There was a time when casting Pedro Pascal meant prestige. He was Oberyn Martell in Game of Thrones, Javier Peña in Narcos, and Din Djarin in The Mandalorian. All sharp, gritty, fan-approved roles. But somewhere around 2024, it stopped being about talent. It became about trend. In just over 18 months, Pascal has starred in The Last of Us, HBO, Fantastic Four, First Steps, Marvel, Gladiator 2, The Mandalorian and Grogu, Disney, and the A24 indie flick The Materialist. That's 5 radically different projects across 4 major studios, all headlined by the same guy. It's no longer casting, it's saturation, and fans are noticing. The Fantastic Four announcement triggered immediate backlash.
I just was a little bit more sensitive to the love that people have for stories like this.
Reddit threads called him miscast and too old for Reed Richards. He turns 50 this year. Others accused Marvel of casting him solely to check diversity boxes. Pedro Pascal is a DEI hire, one commenter wrote. Harsh? Maybe, but it reflects a growing fatigue. A fatigue that isn't about Pedro, the actor, it's about Pedro, the woke mascot. Hollywood keeps handing him the keys to every franchise, not because he's the perfect fit, but because he's the safest face of modern progressive branding. Latino, pro-trans, anti-Trump, visibly emotional, he's everything the industry wants to project. And when a casting director is more worried about optics than performance, you get decisions like Reed Richards, played by Pedro Pascal, a character originally known as a straight-laced white lab geek. Meanwhile, younger or lesser-known actors who might actually fit these roles get sidelined. Because studios don't want risks, they want narrative alignment. And in the woke casting algorithm, Pedro Pascal is the algorithm. People aren't just tired of seeing him, they're tired of being told he's the only kind of man worth watching. Press tour Meltdown. Press tours are usually harmless, smiling for cameras, dodging spoiler questions, and pretending to like your co-stars. But for Pedro Pascal, Fantastic Four, First Steps turned into a walking HR nightmare. The world didn't need another reminder that he gets handsy, but he gave them one anyway. Throughout the 2025 promo run, Pascal and co-star Vanessa Kirby were practically fused at the hip. Red carpet footage shows him whispering into her ear, stroking her back, grabbing her hand, even placing his palm gently on her baby bump. That last move launched a social media firestorm. Kirby is pregnant with someone else's child, and Pascal, he's single, smirking, and acting like he's auditioning for The Bachelor, MCU edition. When asked about it, Kirby downplayed the controversy, calling it comforting support due to Pedro's anxiety. Cute. Except a month earlier, she said she was the one with anxiety and that Pedro was comforting her. So which is it? Who's the anxious one now? Then came the Paris interview clip where Pedro called her baby on camera twice. He laughed it off, but the internet didn't. Dude thinks he's starring in a rom-com, one tweet read. Someone tell him this is a Marvel movie, not Before Sunrise. Still, no one in the mainstream media called it what it was. A press tour meltdown wrapped in softboy branding. No headlines reading Pedro Pascal oversteps or is Pascal crossing a line. Instead, we got puff pieces titled, Why Fans Can't Get Enough of Pedro and Vanessa's Chemistry. Because in woke Hollywood, inappropriate becomes adorable if it fits the narrative. Pascal isn't seen as a man making women uncomfortable, he's seen as a man feeling feelings. And if the press has to rewrite reality to keep that image alive, they're more than happy to do it in 4K. Media cover up. When Pedro Pascal's bizarre behavior with Vanessa Kirby exploded online in mid-2025, the internet called it what it was. Unprofessional, weird, and borderline invasive.
Questions about you.
You can't believe me alone that long. That's a little too long.
But Hollywood hit the gas on a full-blown PR spin cycle. Within 24 hours of the red carpet footage going viral, specifically the now notorious clip of Pascal stroking Kirby's face while she visibly flinched, Vanity Fair dropped a glowing puff piece titled Pedro and Vanessa's Unbreakable Bond. The article didn't mention the backlash, not once. It focused instead on how Pedro's vulnerability sets him apart in an industry built on egos, and how Vanessa's openness creates safe space for emotional connection. Right, emotional connection. That's what we're calling it now. This wasn't just a one-off. GQ called him Hollywood's most emotionally intelligent man, while Rolling Stone praised his radical tenderness. Meanwhile, YouTube comment sections and TikTok stitches were flooded with takes like, if my boyfriend acted like that with a coworker, he'd be single before the premiere ended. One clip of Pedro holding Vanessa's hand for nearly 30 seconds mid-interview pulled over 9 million views with captions like, "This is not normal behavior." Yet instead of covering the growing unease, the entertainment press staged a digital intervention, one feel-good article after another. The cut went with Pedro Pascal is the role model men need, while BuzzFeed asked, are we just not used to healthy masculinity? As if healthy now includes grabbing married women on camera and calling them baby in press interviews. This is what woke media does when the golden boy starts to tarnish. They don't report the cracks, they cover them. Because Pedro Pascal isn't just a man to them, he's a message. And if that message starts looking like a PR liability, don't expect an expose, expect a photo shoot. Time's up, and thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, we'd really appreciate a cheeky like, comment, and subscribe. Big thanks.